another big new project from Paradox, not perhaps big, it's a big small project, perhaps we should say. It's Mesmer Games. Can you tell us a little bit how the idea of that came up?
I think I get like 10 to 15 ideas on independent developers sent to me every month, saying like, can you publish this game? Can you do something with this game? Can you help us just sell this game in different areas? And there are so many talented studios, independent developers that are doing great games, but selling games, taking games to market, games that are only $14.99 to $19.99 in the United States, is very costly to print the boxes, to do the marketing campaign. I mean, losing money on these games will be it will almost be 100% sure to lose money on the games that you release. But if you help them instead reaching the digital channels, doing smarter marketing, being more of a, what do you call it, like co-publishing channel, then you can do some good money both for Mesmer Games and for the independent developers. And that's the idea behind Mesmer Games.
Mm-hmm. So can you tell us a little bit about the first games that you signed to Mesmer and what they're all about?
The first game is called Legio, and it's a Swedish developed game, actually. You could say it's a mix between some turn-based strategy and chess. You could say like battle chess, where you control monsters and you try to fight each other. You're a king and a queen fighting for the power in two different castles. And the other game is called Stalin versus Martians, and it's a really freaked out action RTS game with full of Russian techno music. So there are so many buy me buttons attached to that game. It's you can't describe it. It's fantastic.
Was it an easy choice to pick those two, or as the first games to announce?
When I first saw the concept Stalin versus Martians, I thought it was a joke, but it turned out to be a really good game. So I was a bit surprised. And launching a game with that name is quite easy, because everyone reads it twice. It's like, is this for real, or is it just a joke? So that was an obvious choice to start with, both because it's a good game and because it's a crazy positioning, crazy name. Legio is a new type of game. We've been lacking this sort of game, I think, in the hardcore industry, which is like a beer and pretzels game. You can just sit down for 15 minutes, have some fun, turn it off, and then go back after 2 hours, play for another 10 or 15 minutes. And it's still kind of hardcore. You have to be very smart. You have to be very, like, think a lot on, like, how do I move my troops? How do I maximize my efforts in the turns? So, definitely.
Both those titles have an element of strategy in them. Is that something that will run through like a red line in the Mesmer lineup, or will you be totally open to any kind of game?
We will be very open to any games, actually. We're looking at 5, 6 different games now. There are like RPGs and adventures as well. So we're not locking ourselves into only the strategy games genre, but I think a lot of independent developers have fallen into the strategy games genre by liking strategy games, because PCs is a strategy platform, so it's very hard to adapt to the console. So a lot of independent game developers want to do strategy games for the PC. So probably a lot of the games are going to be strategy games, but not because we actively choose them to.
So what's your sort of, if you have like a list of things that a Mesmer game should be like, if you're looking to get a game published by Mesmer, what should your game be like?
First of all, it's going to be really good quality, like good gameplay. People should think it's a fun game. That's the first one. But also stand out. Like, what does your game deliver? Can you describe it in 5 sentences and say like, wow, that sounds so cool, I just want to play it? And those two is enough, you know. And the price point, basically between $10 and $20, I would say.
And you're planning to start the sort of launching the first 2 games in May. How many games can we look forward to, and how often do you plan to have new games coming?
I mean, in the best of all worlds, we would do a new game every week, like XBLA. We don't really have the channel, we don't really have the team to support that yet with a good quality. But in a year from now, I think we'll have 2 games a month, something like that. And this year, we're looking at 10 to 15 games before the end of the year. I hope, at least. The most important thing is that the games are of good quality, so we don't release a lot of crap that people don't want to play and they don't want to buy. So
the strategy is to like launch Mesmer games as a quality seal for independent titles?
You could call it that. I wouldn't use these exact words, but we want to use our channels, our digital distribution channels that we already have in place to sell the independent games. And if we start selling a lot of crap games, then our retail partners online are going to say like, hey guys, you need to shape up. So there is a pressure on us to actually find good games, evaluate the games, maybe even help producing the games and saying like, we might need to make these small adjustments to the gameplay or whatever, helping the independent developers, those who need help. There are a lot of great independent developers who can work on their own as well. So.
We've been talking for a long time, and we've have failed to mention perhaps the biggest event of the year for Paradox, I guess, is Hearts of Iron 3 release.
Oh yeah. August, I think, we haven't set a date yet, but sometime in Q3, maybe August, maybe September 1st is a good date to launch a World War II game otherwise. So, but it's obviously a huge event for us internally, and everyone here are very engaged in creating the best game we've ever produced at this company. So definitely, big milestone.
Huge game, huge year for Paradox, obviously, and I'd like to thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.
My pleasure.